Hello, hello, and welcome back everyone to our War on the Sea Let's Play series as the Imperial Japanese Navy. You're joining straight back where we left off at quite the important juncture. We are invading Tawi rather nicely there for the glory of the Japanese Empire, but we are also defending Haiphong from the Allies, and we are going to lose that if we do not resupply that very, very quickly indeed. Luckily, we have some supply interceptor task force over here. Just actually, it was on its way down to Palembang over here, which we did capture previously. However, we need to send these supplies. It is only supplies, unfortunately, no troops over to Haiphong. That's not to worry though. That is only going to take 16.9 hours. So we should be alright there to get there just before the next day's cycle, before that does tick over and recalculates victory there. We are also going to reinforce Tawi with just a couple thousand supplies over here from Cebu. And we're looking at increasing these supplies on truck with this particular task force by just a couple thousand or so as well, because we are extremely low over there. That's not going to be good enough for another resupply, I do not think. And we may well need another resupply very soon, because Yamato Task Force has conducted one or two bombardments over on Rabaul. I believe it was just the one, but we do also want to make sure we've restocked our ammunition there in case we do find the American carriers about. So we're going to start pulling up our CVs as well to shadow them a little better. And we'll decide where we want to go with our ships over here. I think we start going towards the Gilbert Islands over here, go towards Pohnpei and Kosrae over here, just to have a quick sneak about. The Americans do like to come through here by the looks of things to get to Truk. We unsuccessful in finding anything really in the Solomon Islands, which is very, very sad indeed, seeing as that is rather an important area. We do also see a submarine over here and a possible cruiser group. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what that is. We must have spotted it previously. So we are going to scout that out. And we're going to scout it out with 6 Donus with some very nice 800 kilogram armor piercing bombs there. So going for that, quite likely some Atlantas and Clevelands, if I remember rightly, and probably just a decent guess there as well. So quite likely going to lose a lot of these Donrus without a lot of decent results there, but it's just good to scout them out and try and hit something rather than resting on our laurels there. We've got a couple of destroyers over here to reinforce our Guam Defence Task Force as well, which is sitting fairly idly. We could actually try and intercept that group if we wanted. Sounds like a decent idea to me. So, what else are we going for? We did also sight a possible invasion task force just south of Iwo Jima, around where Musashi is now, but that was ages ago, and it will have very likely moved on by now. We're going to scout around with Musashi, guess our zeros and scouts going around in that sort of area. Going to speed all the way back to Okinawa with our Supply Interceptor 2s, just in case that's where they go over there. We should be fine to defend Iwo Jima with Soryu's help as well as Musashi's. And we can do a last-ditch defence with a surface engagement if need be with our Supply Interceptor 2s on Okinawa, if that is indeed where they go. So, let's carry on, see what we can do today. As ever, we should be getting resupplied fairly soon, I believe, possibly even tomorrow at Kure, so that is very nice indeed. We can make use of all of these massive supply groups over here. We're going to just put on our engineering task force very quickly, and I think we're going to get our... I think we'll send... How much do we have over here? Get the minor resupply 2 over as well already, because we can at least pick up some engineering and fuel from there already, I think. And that'll be very nice indeed. And then we'll decide what we want to do with the remaining supplies and such with these 2 task forces once we're done. So let's get going. Fingers crossed we can actually find something today. So our Donrus did find that light cruiser group. We are going to aim for the Cleveland at the rear of their formation. Climbing to 2 kilometers altitude, these Donrus should be okay to hit this Cleveland here. It's a fairly decent target for them. Let's just see what sorts of evasive maneuvers they do, and fingers crossed. A few hours later, a scouting roof just north of Puerto Princesa has come across what is denoted as a light cruise group. It appears we have a couple Clevelands here scourging the usual assortment of destroyers in this area. Hopefully we can intercept them with either a submarine or even our invasion support battleship group. Okay, so a few hours have passed and not a lot's been happening other than the minor scouting that we've been doing. We've just been intercepted by some Catalinas. Best I've got for you, I'm afraid. They have some torpedoes going for our Yamato task force. We do have Zeros, of course, in the area as need be. What we're going to do, though, is group up these rear Zeros here. Form them into a Vic. Should be absolutely fine to do so. Just make sure we're doing that properly there. Make sure that's on. There we go. Just get all of those into one group, and we will dive down to I think they drop at 20 meters or so. Slow down our speed and try and get on the tail of those Catalinas there. Make sure they're not actually having the attack order, so that we can in fact go round there. Just get to their flank. We do have some scouts in the area as well. We're going to try and get rid of those. We are on fire at will with a lot of our planes, but we have actually already downed a Catty, which is absolutely brilliant. But fire well's not always going to be amazing. You can see we're struggling with the routes there. We're just going to let the Catalinas go down to their attacking altitude there. Try and stay on their flanks as needs be. I get a judge that they can come around roughly this sort of area. Not entirely following them properly. Let's slow down our speed to keep on their backs. And that actually looks not too bad. Although I'm just going to move down here. Oh, I can't do that. That's too close to other planes, weirdly. Strange decision there. But if we do this manually, it doesn't matter. Now we can increase our speed so that we don't stall so well either. It looks like we're struggling there a tad. There we go. So we just initiate the attack order now. That's absolutely brilliant. Won't take long to down these Catalinas at all, and I think we will take the time to ensure that we down these scouts as well. Although they do know where we are, of course, after this attack. Just gaining a little bit of altitude there. It looks like they are going for 40 meters, but being beaten to it by some other Zeros. They know exactly what they want to do, and that is brilliant for us. Saves us a lot of time there. So we do have a couple more scouts about. It looks like they're damaging us with their tail gunners there, which is rather nasty indeed. If we spend too long in that area, we'll go down there. I have a few Zeros coming down to the south as well to destroy this Kingfisher as well. So that shouldn't take too long at all. The majority of the Zeros going for the one over here, the number 5 aircraft. So is he armed with bombs? He is armed with bombs. Looks like he's going to try and drop them. Only minor ones though, and we'll get a lot of flak coming out soon. What's this? Akazuki here we do have indeed, very, very nasty indeed, but it looks like some Zeros are going to get on the back of that, and that is absolutely brilliant for us. Losing direct sight of us in the Solomon Sea, Gilbert Islands area. And hopefully we do find something decent. There is another light cruiser group. So the Cleveland show today, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of them about in the area, protecting Omahas and destroyers. Just patrolling about, of course. They can't do anything too nasty to our bases unless they are armed with troops and supplies. And you never know. There's no way of scouting this out. Can only prevent these attacks. So let's get back to the strategic map and see what we can do. Now, unfortunately, our Guam Defence Task Force is too slow to catch up with this Cleveland group over here, so we are going to carry on patrolling. And I think what we're going to do is take these reinforcement destroyers and actually go straight for this submarine, because we can still see it. Go straight for that. Again, launch some Emilys over here with depth charges once we get a tad closer, so they're not wasting their fuel and they disappear before they can attack. And that's pretty much about it at the moment. We can certainly go for this couple supply ships, but it is only a couple oilers that have scouted it out, so they're not a threat at all. And really I do want to just focus on the enemy's battle forces at the moment. These minor supply ships never land, unfortunately, never land their troops and supplies without being protected by a large invasion task force. Quite the telltale sign when you're looking at enemy task forces there, of what they're going to be doing. So just a placeholder here, not to worry at all. Let's see if we can get some supplies of our own shifted, shall we? Alrighty, so we have sighted that submarine. We can see it's at periscope depth just there because the surface of the water is actually rather still. What state are we at? 2. Very, very nice indeed. Calming down in the evening, apparently. Let's go around, slow down our speeds with these Emilys and decrease our altitude there. Start targeting this. And we will just guess that it's a tambor for now, but we can have a look later on. Let's guess it over here. Very nice indeed. So I think the Hyashia will be over here to administer a decent sonar contact. If we go at a fairly slow speed over here, can move over like so. Just make sure we're doing that. Nizuki needs to move to actually get out of the way of these torpedoes, I would say. And let's move in towards those. So present a narrow profile. Don't want this to get hit. It is in fact an Akazuki new type. Don't want to lose one of those so quickly. Only just started fielding them. You're going to have to activate our torpedo beats here, I think. Gonna be very, very careful about this. Very, very careful indeed, because we're really threading the needle here. Not liking that at all. Let's increase our speed to increase our turn, I think. That could just take one on the nose. Just about looking like it, aren't we? Or are we? I think we just make sure we don't overturn that. Change our rudder shift a tad. Increase our speed to zoom out of there. I think we're going to take one. Oh, so unlucky. Very, very unlucky indeed. But we are going to have to stop now to help our damage control and get another sonar contact or help that out. What are we looking like on here? Yeah, major damage and flooding on our centre there. But it could certainly be worse. Absolutely could be worse. Let's increase our speed still over here. Try and keep up with that submarine. Our Emilys are ignoring our nav points. Unless I did not actually send those out. So we're going to have to increase our speed now to get around there before we lose that sonar contact. That's rather unlucky. Very, very cheeky indeed. Very, very cheeky, but unless that really, really spreads horribly, I don't think it will because of the low, very, very low sea state. And how's the wind looking? Wind actually fairly slow as well, so any fires we have, just the one at the moment, shouldn't spread too hard. I think we'll survive this, but it is a shame to have to send that immediately straight back to our dry dock to rest and repair and such. Let's increase our speed a tad more here. Shouldn't be struggling too much to keep a contact over here because of the low sea states and easy weather. But it is going to be a case of keeping on top of that until our Emilys come in here. So we're going to once again increase their speed and I think decrease the altitude a tad more. Fairly low altitude there, but not to worry. Okay, so we're getting fairly close now, so we're going to decrease our speed once more. And try and come in actually from the bow of the ship, from its nose there, so that it do get a lengthways attack. Always ideal, of course. Look at the smoke billowing up from our destroyer there. Oh, so unlucky. Usually fairly decent at dodging those torpedoes, but I think we zigged when we should have zagged. Quite a basic thing to think you need to move away rather than into them, but sometimes it does in fact work, and we are going to tell our Emilys to attack now since we do have a decent heading and bearing on them. Just keep our speed fairly slow there so we can get the turn on that, and I think we're going to be absolutely fine there. Absolutely fine there indeed. Just waiting game, and I hope we do get this just with these planes. I don't want to have to send in the Hyashia afterwards to finish this off, and we will keep a decent formation there. Let's have a look. Very, very nice indeed. It's a thing of beauty watching these drops. Should be about ready now. There we go. Oh, look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. Let's see if we can watch that under the water. Looks like we may have missed a tad there. It's rather interesting. Probably should have dropped from behind. Not to worry. Yeah, that should have been a rear side drop, to be honest, shouldn't it? Minor mistake there. So we are going to have to send in the Hyashia over here. But not to worry, we can certainly catch up with that. Don't know what this nav point's looking like over here. Let's get rid of that. Send this over there. Okay, so we're just about coming up to that possible tambo there. Could well be a geyser as well. They do look very, very similar indeed. Just using time compression, I guess, on there as quickly as possible. We're going to use the underwater view here, the submerged view, to try and get a better look at this and how our alignment is. Looking fairly decent on the map, but true sight is, of course, much better. Do have a load of 3 drops waiting for this submarine. Should be about there. We can see the silhouettes just here now, so we're going to wait for our rear of the ship to be leading this, of course, and I think really it wants to actually turn in a tad here so that it do get a little better aligned, because we're just off of its port side here. I'd rather be right on top of that. Just going to use time compression again. This is a somewhat slow process here, but I think just the tiniest turn there and that'll be absolutely fine. Going to lose sonar contact with that very briefly, but that's not to worry. We can absolutely see where that is now. I think we'll just again get some lead on that. There we go. I think that's looking pretty damn decent. Let's start dropping. Let's start dropping and just decrease our speed a tad. Have a look. Hopefully we should get a few hits here, because this could take quite a long time otherwise. Far too long for my liking. But it feels like it's been quite a while since we have had to hunt a submarine. They are always over here, apparently. Yeah, it's just not quite the right lead once again. Getting some damage to the rear of the ship there. So that's not to worry. All we have to do is just increase our speed once again and lead a bit better there. We'll go to 14 knots. Still having to re-establish sonar contact there. Let's take a report. It is moderate to moderate, so that might well get a lot worse. There's not a lot of components to damage from submarines, of course. It looks like we have killed at speed, which is absolutely brilliant. So what we should do is actually, once again, slow down, because we're going to be leading too much there. You can see we have zoomed ahead there, so we're going to reverse over. I think once again, just try and drop some depth charges on the nose of the ship there. Let's check how many depth charges we have remaining. Quite a few. Didn't use too many. That's absolutely fine. Only 9 dropped. So what we'll do is just wait for our Hashio to come back over. Compress time a tad. So he really did zoom across there. Let's increase our speed there. Should be fine. Yeah, that's looking good. So we'll just once again get going at a very slow speed. Wait for that to carry on forwards and we will drop even more. I think another 9 will do the job there. Let's do that right now while we're right over the enemy ship. It'd be good. And we dropped, that's the question. Can't see any coming out. Just doing it, that's all good. Here we go. Just poor sight. I think once again just a little too forwards there. No, it's a little too forwards. You might just have to wait. We did get some damage, you can see on the nose of the ship. Very, very nice indeed. That should send it to heavy damage and heavy flooding. So that should force it to blow its ballast at least. You can see perhaps a minor list there, I think. There we go, now it's blowing. So what we're going to do is turn around and get a few more guns in that direction. We're going to increase our speed a tad so that we can in fact depress our guns at such a short distance there. And wait for that to come up. Unfortunately, I don't think we can get our guns. Can we manually get them holding over here? I wonder if I can actually... No, I need to think manually fire out over here for now. Just get our guns turning perhaps. No, I do need to actually have a decent contact. So that's unlucky. It is going to get 1 shot perhaps or 2 onto us. But we can just wait. Okay, so at the turn of the day, we should be in range to unload all of our cargo from the supply interceptors onto Haiphong here. Let's see how that's affected the balance of power there. That's actually fairly even now, so that's not too bad at all. What we're going to do then is actually send these supply interceptors back down to Puerto Princesa over here. If we do that, that's going to take quite some time though. We do have our base scouters over here. Going to try and pick up a few troops and supplies from Formosa over here at Kaohsiung. Do see a CL group over here. We do know this is a few Clevelands and such. We have been tailing them with our submarines over here. Did in fact make contact with those, but we don't quite have the armaments to defeat those. Couldn't quite chase them either. They're all the way down here. Last night we did try and get them with our invasion support task force, but couldn't quite make them. We took the guess that they were going down to Puerto Princesa, so we did come down here, but clearly they've gone northwards. So we guessed wrong there, but not to worry. Still watching out for a possible invasion around either Iwo Jima and Okinawa there. So just starting our scouting. Got what is denoted as a carrier, but that will just be a couple transports over there, unfortunately. Nothing to get too excited about, which is rather sad indeed. Let's get our CVs closer to our Yamato task force, shall we? Let's keep going. Okay, so it looks like we have also been resupplied with troops and supplies on Kure. Looks like we do actually have a maximum capacity of 500 engineering and fuel on Kure, so it's been sat waiting idly by to waste, unfortunately. It's rather sad indeed. So we're going to take everything we can then on this particular task force and go straight for all of that. We need to get some use out of it. Absolutely need to get some use out of it. Carry a couple hundred supplies as well, just because we can, and it's good to get them shifted. Where do we want to go though? That's the question. Do we send them to Puerto Princesa? I think we probably do. That's going to need it for future rearms, I think. So let's do that. That was the engineering task force there. Let's go over. It's going to take quite a while to get there. Somewhat treacherous as well. Let's go for minor resupply 2 then and pick stuff up there. Let's get some fuel and such going there. Get some more engineering on the go as well. And I think we will pick up just a small amount of supplies. In fact, if that's going to be the case, what we'll do is pick up the last bit of engineering there and pick up a few hundred supplies on our destroyers. And we will send those towards truck, I think, and such. Decide if we really want to do that later on. What we're going to do then is take our invasion task forces over here, the slightly larger one here, and bring all of the rest of the remainder of the troops and supplies over here, and we can start pushing down into the Dutch East Indies a little harder there. We're about to reinforce Tawi Tawi, but I don't think it's particularly needed at the moment. But it's nice to get those supplies shifted anyway, just to make sure that does go down. We don't lose so many troops there. So, once again, let's get going. Nothing really major happening, unfortunately. It's just shifting supplies, unfortunately. Hopefully we get one more engagement in today. And no sooner had I finished that report than we get to the updates that we have, in fact, defended Haiphong successfully. We are still going to resupply and reinforce that because we don't want that happening again and being caught short there. So it's very nice indeed. Alrighty, we've got a fairly surprising engagement here, very close quarters, as you may have noticed here. We are just outside of Cebu in the Philippines, of course, with our invasion support group. This could go either way. We do have battleship support, of course, but we do have some very soft targets in the form of our aircraft carrier and, of course, the destroyers, but we are facing them largely with our heavy cruiser here, which one is this? The Atago over here, and we have our Tama as well, which can take a few hits. We're going to take, of course, everyone off of fire at will, and we're going to get our Zuiho, I think, under smoke, and we're going to get our destroyers as well under smoke. I'm really not liking this at all, to be honest with you. Really not liking it. Get our destroyers under smoke and let our big hitters do the work. So what do we have exactly? We have destroyers. We have, I can't remember which ship we did actually sink. I don't believe this is Deroyos. This could well be Java. Let's double check. Certainly not Tromp. Yeah, it's Java. There we go. We didn't actually destroy Java. It was very interesting. Apparently didn't sink the De Ruyter as well, so that's rather interesting indeed, actually. What else do we have? Destroyers. Oh, we have both Javas there. Interesting. Okay. Okay, and that's about it. So I was actually expecting some Clevelands. This is very, very unexpected indeed. We've not previously sighted this, so it really has been a very, very much surprise engagement. So let's go straight for this Java, shall we? Fire out some AP. Now, don't necessarily need to spot, just fire out. Make sure our secondaries are going as well. Get the Attigo over here. I think we're going to start firing out on these destroyers, I think. Get HE, fire out there. Need to get rid of the destroyers so that our own destroyers don't start hurting as well. Get a heavy cruiser onto the Java over here, the number 2. And with our Tama, we shall certainly go for a destroyer as well. We didn't actually identify that. We certainly need to. Let's go for American destroyers. And what do we think we have? A Benson or a Gleaves once again? Why must they look identical? Just hurts there. Let's fire out some AP over here and re-identify this particular Java over here. Let's go to CL. There we go. Lovely stuff. Shiratsu can fire on, I think, this Benson or Gleaves as well. Just make sure we do identify that we can keep that on American destroyers now. Go for, let's just say Benson for the sake of it there, and we can change that later on if need be. Let's focus fire now with the rest of our destroyers. Like so. Let's get the Fubuki on there, I think. Decent position for it, and once our solution goes up we can certainly get out some torpedoes. What we need to do though is get some maneuvers going. I think what we're going to do is get our ships over here. If we line ahead over here like so, just make sure they're in a decent formation. We need to put the Tama above that. And that's all good. If we line ahead here, like so, not hindering our movement as such, and we can all keep decent pace there. We go at 25 knots for now. Try moving towards the enemy's flank, I think. Should really be kiting away with a few things here. I think with the Fubuki over here, we start turning out as well. With the Zuiho, we certainly start moving away if possible there. Issei can move just at full speed there. Let's move out here. Just keep going fairly straight. Same with the Fuso, full speed. Turn up over here. The Hatsuyuki can start turning out as well, out of the way there. Nachi can start moving. Doesn't need to move too horribly there, just so that we can get our guns firing better there. We'll increase our speed a tad there. Hopefully we'll be able to get some decent shots out. In fact, what we want to do is hold fire with a battleship and get some decent mangle shots. Like, this should be fairly easy to actually aim here because we are 7 kilometers away. Probably feel our breath on them. And I think we actually get out some early torpedoes here as well. We'll go for a 3-degree spread right now here. And we'll go for the same over here with our Attigo over here. Just take off the port side torpedoes because they will still fire out. We don't want to hit our own ships, of course. Do that for now. Wait for Fuso to get some shots out. Have we hit this already? We certainly have. Very, very nice indeed. And they are turning away, which is brilliant for us. So, have our guns actually turned yet? They certainly have. Let's get out to the Java, see how that's moving. We're getting some hits already. Lovely stuff. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff indeed. Shouldn't need to aim too far ahead. What's that going? 30 knots. Let's go for about here-ish and see how that goes. Wait for our rear guns to fire out there, apparently. Turn around. So yeah, we just need to move our Fuso around to get those on target. Looks like we just missed there. Probably want to aim a little higher there indeed. Our Hatsushimo is... Oh, it's taken a magazine explosion already. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Probably going to happen. They're probably definitely going to happen from the start there. Look at the focus fire there. Look at the distance, of course. Very, very nasty indeed. Hatsushimo is sinking very, very quickly indeed there. Not happy at all with that. Very not happy at all. Let's fire out again with the Fuso here. We have just done so. And I think we'll turn that on to normal firing there. Do have a very nice solution there. It should be all good. to fire without our support. Massive, massive hits to the centre of the Java over here. Massive, massive hit just there. And that looks like... not entirely sure what shells those were. Probably the Fuso's ones. How's this destroyer looking? Not too good either. This Benson actually not looking too bad for itself. Don't think we've hit that at all, unfortunately. How's the other Java doing? Not taking any hits by the looks of it. Very, very close though, but not quite close enough, unfortunately. This one's not looking great. Getting a decent spread of torpedoes out, but I'm not too hopeful with that, unfortunately. How's our Tama looking? Is it taking hits? Not just yet. So the Hatsushima was actually leading there, and the Shiratsu is now taking fire. Rather nasty. Rather nasty, and we're not shooting out because we have also fire flak on, and there is in fact a bloody plane out there. Should have thought about that. Oh, not liking this. The Shiratsu's lost its front gun there. Not liking that at all. Really not liking that at all. Yeah, you can see they're just not bothering to fire here. That's rather sad. Java is sinking. That's great. Let's get our Fuso over on the second one over here then. Start firing, please. Rather nasty skirmish indeed. Rather nasty. Who else was firing at that? Was it Tsunachi? It certainly was. Let's go for this one as well then. Not liking this at all. How's our Issei going? Have we just fired out with that? I heard some guns go. Gonna hold and try and get some sort of mangled shots out. We're 10 kilometers away from that particular Java, but still just so close to them. Fuso has just fired out at it. Shouldn't have the greatest of solutions already. I think that's it, just straddling there. Let's wait for our guns to reload here on the Issei, and we shall fire out. Get a good aim going already. Really shouldn't take too long there. Let's fire out over here. It is turning a tad. Might be a tad too far out though there. We're looking. Very nice hits on the front of the ship there. Very nice. Hopefully that's taken out a gun, but it doesn't particularly look like it. Oh, very nice with our Issei there. Very nice indeed. We're going to have to hold out and re-target that. There's just so much going on with our destroyers there. We're going to lose a Shiratsu, I think, as well. Very nasty indeed. Let's aim a little further out there. Get that going. Fine, normally. So how is our Shiratsu looking? Not great at all. Fires and floods everywhere. That's pretty much sunk as it is. We have sunk a Gleaves though, and we're going to have to change our targets then if that's the case. And we're going to go for, I think, this particular ship. Is it a Sims? I want to say Sims off the top of my head. Let's see. Where are we? Certainly is a Sims. There we go. Let's fire out them. Who else was firing out? Our how to go there was excellent. Let's get some HE going there. Make sure our secondaries are also going. Nachi's going for the Java. Issei's going for the Java. Going for Benson otherwise. Are we looking with our formations? Probably want to turn out here, to be honest. Not entirely sure what's happening there. Get rid of evade hazards there, because that's what's hurting us. Move out like this. Java suffers a magazine cargo explosion. That is excellent. That should be going down very soon. So we actually want to change our heavy cruiser targets there. Instantly chooses a light cruiser, of course. So that Java's down. So that's the main threat down now. Let's go for the destroyers we have already targeted. Shiratsu is sinking though, unfortunately. Looks like we're going to get a collision here because they're not doing as I bloody say once again. That's going to hurt. We're going to have to just instantly move out here. Fuso needs to slow down as well, I think. Never told them to go this way towards each other. Okay, and increase your speed there and your turn, I think. Good thing we're not so close we're hitting our own ship there. Decrease the turn so we don't hit our ship. Are we looking? Very nice indeed, I think. Bloody hell, that was close. It's far too close. And somewhat on the embarrassing side there. Why don't we form up with our Issei and Fuso there to line ahead, so that the Issei can lead that out very nicely indeed. Fubuki can turn out a little bit there. Now we can actually think about who we're firing at once again. Our torpedoes just missed the wreckage of the Java there. Are we going to be guessing this number 1 ship over here? Probably not with these torpedoes, unfortunately. Never bloody hit, do they? Fubuki's now taking some hits. Just needs to retreat, doesn't it? Just needs to guess out. Who's Atago firing at? Nachi, who are you firing at? We're all good for targets, I think. Need to get the Issei out. We will fire out our main guns onto these Sims here, and of course our secondaries can go as well. Fuso, who are you firing at? No one at the moment. Go for this Benson, please. Shoddy piece of work. What is this doing? That's going for another. That's going for another. It's going for another. I think it's going for another. Start moving away here, I think. Pretty much dead in the water for them. Torpedoes just barely missing over here by the looks of things. That's rather unlucky. Rather unlucky indeed. How are their ships looking though? This Benson's taking hits, but not enough. What do we have on fire over here? Is it just the smoke? No, we have the lost Shiratsu there, I believe. Rather sad. How's this Fubuki looking? Not great. Need to get some damage control onto the floods. I need to increase our speed and just gets out. Well, that was very embarrassing indeed, I must say. We lost in the end the Hatsushimo and the Shiratsu, with the Fubuki only taking moderate damage apparently, but from the fires at the end I would not like to say that's moderate at all. We did sink the 2 Javas, and we did sink a Gleaves, a Sims, and reading that's about it. So not to worry there, fairly even trade if you ask me. Got some light cruisers, the only 2 light cruisers of that class, but we decided to escape that before we lost any more destroyers, because of course those are very limited, and they do hold a place in our fleets. Count our blessings though, at least we did not lose a Zuiho, so that's something, isn't it? So we're going to have to send this fleet back to repair and rearm, I think. We can of course rearm over in Puerto Princesa, but I think, how are we looking for damages? Actually not too bad, so I think just to rearm, we'll send the Fubuki back and replace the destroyers there, I think, in the future. But that is unfortunately all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. The invasion of Taui Taui is going very well indeed. We've defended Haiphong, sunk a few ships, and I think we're looking fairly decent once again. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I hope all of your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.